I left something off my form when I started coming here. I had therapy once before for bulimia. And I actually was in group for that too, but we were all bulimics. I mean, it wasn't a mishmash of drug addicts and people who couldn't stay out of trouble. I mean, we had trouble, but we all did it in the privacy of our own kitchens or dining rooms or, oh, and the bathroom, right? Don't forget that part of bulimia, Psyche. I had individual therapy 3 times a week, and then after I'd been seeing my individual therapist and I went to all my appointments and made up any ones that I missed, and I guess got a good grade from my therapist. Then I got okayed to go into this group. I had stopped purging. That was really hard. And after I stopped purging, of course, I think I gained like 10 pounds. I mean, I was in therapy I'd been in therapy for 6 months, I guess. There was this one girl in the group who, she was about 5 feet tall and weighed about 90 pounds. And her binge was 2 of the largest size pizzas, football field size pizza. That was binge. And I don't know if you know this, but a binge is about 20 minutes. So she's like eating all this in 20 minutes. And then purging. I mean, that's not why I'm telling you this story. I wanted to come clean about it because, I mean, bulimia, I mean, it's pretty weird. It's a weird thing, and I know that it's fairly common, but it's sort of weird and creepy and secretive, and I don't need to be secretive, and, one of the things that we talked about in this group, we all talked about this. I don't know how it came up, except somebody was talking about how frustrated she was that she wasn't supposed to binge anymore because it was the only thing that gave her any satisfaction. It was the only thing that that made her comfortable, that made her feel like she was in balance with the universe. And I'm sure that I was like that during the times that I was binging. I mean, I didn't binge all the time. I wasn't like that, but I would go through periods where I would like binge every day, and I went through this time where I was binging so bad that I couldn't even keep food in the house, because if there was food in the house, I would eat it. They're going around the circle and they're all expressing that there wasn't anything that gave them as much satisfaction as binging and or purging. I'm listening to them talk, and all of a sudden I start thinking, or things start popping up, images start popping up, like when I lived in New York, and there was this place that I used to go every morning on the way to work to get my coffee. And if you say dark, the place I went anyway, if you say coffee dark, then that meant that they would put not as much milk in it. It didn't mean that they wouldn't put any in. And if you said black, then it would be black, but they would put sugar in it, and you had to yell. And sometimes they put sugar in it anyway because they were in a bad mood or in too much of a hurry, and so you had to be really careful, you know. But there was this one guy, and I think because I was polite, but I always said coffee light. He got it this like really creamy, pretty, soothing, warm beige color. Not cold beige, but warm beige. And I don't know how much sugar he put in it, but he put just enough sugar and just enough milk that it was like comfort food. You know? It was the way this guy made a coffee light. It was like you got it and you started to drink it and you started to feel like everything was okay. And I realized that I did have a few things that I guess those other women in the group didn't have. That I did have some things that soothed me and that gave me satisfaction when I would have that same sort of feeling of everything is okay in the world when I would go to a live drawing class, because I was able to go to the Art Students League. And I mean, there's always a live drawing class there. And I got that feeling doing that. And a cup of tea. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a perfectly made cup of tea. But it's like, that's just for you. And I swear, they finally come to me. It's my turn to talk about my lack of satisfaction and my frustration and why it's so hard not to binge and purge, and all of a sudden it was like this bubble popped. And I realized that it wasn't ever probably going to be hard for me not to binge and purge again, because I had connected with satisfaction. And it doesn't mean that I'm not frustrated all the time, because I can't paint. I mean, I can, but I can't finish anything. I can't finish anything. It's like I'm over here and finishing the painting is over there. But I know what satisfaction feels like. I want that back. I want to be able to just go inside myself and get that as easily as it was to get it standing online for my coffee in the morning in New York.